Hello, brothers and sisters. My name is Leonard Clark. This is November 6th, the evening of November 6th, Wednesday, the year 2013. And I, Leonard Clark, am broadcasting via YouTube from the city of Phoenix, Arizona, in the United States of America. I just want to give you a quick update on this unfair charter school status that is going on with the city of Phoenix, issuing out, approving tens of millions of bonds to charter schools, which, by the way, are not fair competition to public schools. One, they don't have public school boards. They only answer to boards of directors, not the parents. It's undemocratic and it's a radical thing. Two, recent series of Arizona Republic articles have shown that the loopholes they have in these charter schools boards, you can drive a truck through. For example, no public bidding process, public schools, you go to jail if you do that. Nepotism, family members on boards, hiring out contracts to other family members. Three, family members on boards sometimes giving high priority to their own family members ahead of students that have been continuing students to charter schools. So my apologies to the people, my brothers and sisters and nice people who have their children in charter schools. But quite frankly, they can tell you all they want that they have a parent representative, but that is only at their discretion. It is not your right. You only do that because the corporation allows you to do it. In a public school, not a private corporation, that is not the case. You have to have public meetings and board meetings, and you can get your fellow voters together, and if they're being unfair in a district or something like that is going on and you want to make changes, you can do that through your school board. You cannot do it through a charter school. And not lastly and not leastly, this whole not-for-profit. Well, Mr. Clark, charter schools are not for profit. You know, so we have this angelic philosophy. We're competing with the public schools. Well, actually, that's a misnomer, brothers and sisters. That is nothing but a smokescreen to fool you, because in many cases, founders of these very charter schools here in Arizona and across this country have founded, incorporated management firms to oversee the not-for-profit charter schools. And as you guessed it, the management firms are for-profit. So, you know, I can start my own charter school. Then I go have my friends or myself start a management firm overseeing the charter school, and I can still have that as a for-profit company and pay myself handsomely, thank you, off of the public tax dollar, unlike our public schools. Now, the loopholes, the Arizona Charter Board School Association and the governor of this state, they fought this. The Arizona Republic did a great series of articles, believe it or not, they did, on charter school possible corruption and huge loopholes of what's going on here in Arizona. But the Charter Board School Association fought it. They don't want this. As Rupert Murdoch said, this is a great opportunity. $500 billion of public tax dollars, our tax dollars, brothers and sisters, funding these private, undemocratic corporations who take in students. We take all the students. Well, first, that's not true, because they don't always accommodate physically challenged or mentally challenged students. But once they do accept these students, if they do not score high on the scores, they get to winnow them out and kick them out. And guess where they go back to? Our hardworking public schools, teachers and communities and parents. Because the charter schools then, with few remaining students, get to skew their score reports and say, look at us charter schools, we're doing so good. And then people call this fair competition. Well, calling what the charter school loopholes and all of this very highly probable corruption going on is fair competition is like saying a boxer going in to the ring with one arm behind his back, that is the public schools, as compared to the charter schools who not only go in with both arms, both boxing hands into the ring, they go in with lead bars inside their gloves. Okay? That's what it's like saying the charter schools are fair competition. They are not. They are a cynical way to obtain tax dollars and destroy our public school system, an American way of integrating our society, besides the United States Armed Forces, of which I was a member and had an honor to witness the many different segments of society coming together. And like the Armed Forces, the United States Armed Forces of America, bringing members from all parts of society together, our public schools can do that. Now, if you charter schools and you people and my friends that support it want to have publicly elected school boards, when you get our tax dollars, my tax money, instead of boards of directors held up to the law like the public schools, then maybe I'll think about it. But you're not doing that. They're not doing that. It's not right. It's undemocratic. and it's skewing the test scores. But what I can't stand, brothers and sisters, is today, items 53 through 57, and I will say 52 was about a hospital bond issuance. These items were supposedly a straw man association called the Phoenix Industrial Development Authority. These are the types of bond issuing authorities that have sprung up in Arizona and across the country. They're used as a legal straw man. Okay, that's what they are. We're being told that, well, it's not the city of Phoenix that's doing it. It's this quasi-government board. No, it's a corporation, not for profit, from what I understand. These industrial development authorities. The city is not liable, yet the headquarters for the Phoenix Industrial Development Authority is located in the Calvin C. Good building. I go there to their meetings. They go to the Phx City Council to get final approval for their bonds. So today, here's what they did. Here's the damage. And by the way, at the last meeting, if you want to go to this small room and you don't, and they've been nice to me lately, okay? The three-piece suits handling millions and millions of dollars. There are good people trying to work there, but I'm sorry, I strongly disagree with them. And in light of today's article in the one of the papers, Wall Street Journal, yes, I know that's a Rupert Murdoch publication, but this was in the news. In Pennsylvania or in the Eastern United States, the Securities and Exchange Commission has heavily fined this municipal bond issuing authority. They've heavily fined some of the financial institutions that were involved in it for misleading their investors. Money was lost, bonds failed. And in Arizona, in Maricopa County Court, and I'm not going to name of the business person, but if I mention you the name, you would know who it is. $10 million of bonds that have been issued by Phoenix Industrial Development Authority or associated with it that were issued went into default. Now, this was years ago. It's not the present city council where these bonds went into default. So I know maybe a lot of your eyes are rolling. But what this is about is a cynical, piece-by-piece destruction of our public school system, which integrates our society like the United States Armed Forces did, and which I was a member of. And what they're doing is I'm sorry, but a lot of, like today on the Phoenix City Council, unanimous. And you'll find it interesting that the mayor of Phoenix finally, and I do respect this, excuse me, Phoenix Mayor Stanton recused himself from item 57, and I'll get to that in a moment, for issuing bonds, but they hadn't been doing that. And I am just one citizen. If all of us will band together, these same politicians who ask our hardworking public school teachers and community members who support our public schools, who have to follow the light of the law and the democratic process, these same people tell us to go out and knock on doors for them and get them elected on hot Phoenix summer days, then turn around and vote for around, I don't know, $30, $40, $50 million worth of bonds to private corporations today. When a public school comes to the Phoenix Industrial Development Authority and then goes to City of Phoenix Council, and they say, oh, you don't have to have a school board. You can just answer to stockholders, which I would hope would never happen because it's a public school. It won't happen because we're a public institution. But if they ever did do that, maybe we could say, yeah, that's fair competition. It's not. They're hurting our students, and let me tell you, people have tried to intimidate me at the Arizona State Legislature. Members of the Arizona State Charter Board School Association, a few members in particular, tried to harangue me and intimidate me, and I basically told them to go to hell. Yes, nuts. That's what I said to them. Mr. Clark, go back and read the law. No, we are not stupid, and we're not going to take this anymore. And to our politicians, especially our so-called progressive Democratic politicians, and the ones who voted on the Phoenix City Council today, and I'll read you what they voted for. If you continue to vote for killing our public schools and to these charter board school associations that have huge loopholes and huge potential for corruption, which the Arizona Republic has shown, if you continue to do that, you should not ask for our support and say that you are for our public schools when you're putting a knife in the back of our public schools. Now, here are some of the things they did. They voted for hospital bonds, not for profit. I can see that. That's in the helping the community. But then they vote for $9,750,000 for Oro Valley, Arizona. And as they were doing this before this at the i.d.a. meeting, I heard them say, the members of the i.d.a. Industrial Development Authority, well, we've got to do this. We've got to get these things through the market. No, there's a big mouth named Leonard Clark and other citizens who are saying, wait a second, why are these private corporations hurting our public schools? Why are they getting our public tax dollars when they don't have to follow the laws that our public schools do? That's what's going on. And I heard them mention, we got to get these into the Arizona 101 corridor. We got to get these charter schools in. So they voted, the city council unanimously, including the mayor, Mayor Stanton, for $9,750,000 for charter schools in Oro Valley, for $10 million in Prescott Charter School. Item 56, $13,500,000. The city council said yes. Peoria, Arizona, which is a charter school there, North Lake Pleasant Parkway between Calle Lejos and Mariposa Lane. $40 million for charter schools in Chandler, Mesa, and Gilbert. And this is a curious item because the mayor, and I do compliment him for this, Mayor Stanton said he was going to recuse himself from item 57, the $40 million bond issuance, because it sounded like a conflict of interest. Now, they weren't recusing themselves before, and I've been protesting these, saying it's damn wrong that you be giving out money to charter schools that are private corporations that don't have to have school boards, calling that competition and not accepting the students and kicking out students and all of these other abuses. I've said to them, they got to stop. I mean, if you don't stop, don't ask us, don't go out and say that you support public schools and the integration of our society, so that you don't have gated communities. They voted, as a matter of fact, several months back, City of Phoenix approved the council. I was there and protested against it. A charter school in a gated community. Technically, parents might be able to send their kids there by bus, maybe. This is anti-democratic and quite, I dare say, anti-American. It is. Private corporations getting our public tax dollars. And again, in the Wall Street Journal today, and yes, I know Rupert Murdoch, I believe it was Pennsylvania, a municipal bond issuing authority there, has been heavily fined by the Securities and Exchange Commission for issuing out shoddy bonds, for misleading investors, and some of the banks or the financial institutions were fined. I'm telling you, this is not good, and they know that nobody pays attention, and today they did a huge amount, tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars to private corporate charter schools with no elected parental school boards, as our public schools are struggling desperately, while these far-right fanatics, ideologues, extremists in the legislature are cutting back on everything because, quite frankly, they want their church schools, they want their for-profit schools, and and they know Rupert Murdoch's right. $500 billion in public tax dollars could go to these charter schools. So now, apparently, they've got even our Democratic politicians in their pockets. They laugh and smile and quaintly at me, and they go ahead and vote unanimously anyways to kill our public schools. Now, you know what? I'm going up against some very powerful financial people, brothers and sisters, with this big mouth of mine. If I was in Russia, if I was in any other country, probably wouldn't be alive much longer. And quite frankly, in this state, we did, and one of my heroes, and God rest his soul, Don Bowles, was murdered in broad daylight inside of the state capitol dome with a bomb, a car bomb. I'm just saying to you, I can't be the only one to do this. We all have to help. Now, some of you are saying, I like charter schools. Well, fine. If they'll have publicly elected school boards, if they'll get rid of the nepotism the law allows them to have, the non-public bidding process, which the loopholes allow them to have, unlike public schools, I might support you on that. But they're not telling you the truth. Okay? So please, brothers and sisters, keep an eye on this Phoenix Industrial Development Authority. I will post details below as I find them. And again, I find it curious that the mayor recused himself from this item on the $40 million issuance of bonds, but I do applaud Mayor Stanton for doing that. But Mr. Stanton and city council members, your progressive council members, okay, you can say, well, it's not partisanship, Mr. Clark. No, it's not. Public schools aren't about partisanship. They're about the American society that we have being integrated. It doesn't matter if you're rich or you're poor. You have the public schools where we all meet. But we don't have that, just like if we don't have a United States Armed Forces anymore, where young men and women can meet from the South, from the North, from rich and from poor areas of our society, then America starts to become a walled-off society. We've got to stop this, support our public schools, and I do congratulate the public schools that did get their overrides, and my condolences to the ones who didn't, especially in Gilbert, the Gilbert area. Kyrene passed their override. Phoenix Unified School District, they did it. Others did, but others failed. So there you go. Brothers and sisters, I'll keep you updated. And thank you. Just want to let you know what's going on with these charter schools. And if something should happen to me, please keep up the nonviolent fight Keep on these politicians. Don't ignore the Phoenix City Council meetings. It's not just the legislature where they're pulling a lot of bull hockey. Thank you.